I would like to nominate the most experienced female member of this legislature who is eligible for the job, the member from Calgary Northwest.
I respectfully decline the nomination.
The member from Calgary Varsity.
I'll have to respectfully decline.
The member from St. Albert.
I respectfully decline the nomination.
Welcome to Inside Politics. I'm Chris Varcoe, the Calgary Herald, joined by columnist Don Braid. Don, today we're going to have a throne speech, and we're also going to have a new government in place. What are you looking for at the legislature on Monday?
It's going to be very interesting to see how well the government carries this, how they handle themselves, the tone of the throne speech. The Premier's got to be reassuring and yet firm on her policy commitments. It is, without any doubt, the most interesting opening day of new government we've seen in a long, long time in this province, because everybody's still trying to figure out how to deal with this. Where people are still trying to get their heads around it, whether left, center, or right. And the government's got to sort of take that mood and move it in their direction for the next 4 years.
Now, we know that the government says that they're going to deal with an interim supply bill, which will deal with the finances. We also know that they're going to be talking about some sort of democratic reform bill at some point. But what kind of things are you going to be watching for specifically as the next 2 weeks unfold?
Well, it's going to be very interesting to see what they have to say about energy in the throne speech, if they make any further commitments about a royalty review.
Right.
It's going to be interesting to see what they say about finance. What are they going to say about health care? Because holy smokes, there's a lot of interesting stuff in health care. They're sort of backing away from that cancer hospital, which seems to have a long history of getting backed away from. There's lots of interesting specific policy stuff.
So what about the people then? Does that mean that you're also going to be looking at those ministers as sort of the key players?
Yeah, I mean, how is McQuaig Boyd handling herself? Shannon Phillips, Joe Ceci, the finance minister, and you're hearing some nervous talk in the business community about him being in favor of guaranteed annual income. So it's going to be very interesting to see what they say and how they perform.
I'll be watching for, as you pointed out, McQuaig Boyd. She's got a lot of hot files on her, in front of her. But Shannon Phillips might have the most tricky files because she's got to deal with what is the government going to do with their $15 a ton carbon levy, which expires at the end of this month. So I'm going to be watching for her. I'm also going to be watching for Brian Jean and how the opposition responds. We've not seen him in the legislature really in any kind of, under fire moment. Is there anything you're looking for specifically from the opposition?
Well, Wild Rose has got a strategy, and the strategy is to be tough, and they're being tough already. You've noticed them day after day, but they're also not being personal the way they were, and I think Jean is sort of committed to that. I'm not sure how long that'll hold up for. I think it could get personal pretty quickly. As far as the PCs go, they hardly know what to put themselves. There's nothing they can say that doesn't make them look kind of ridiculous. Their ex-president Bill Smith said it best when he said they should just shut up for 6 months. It's hard to do when you're in the legislature, but I don't think they should be putting themselves forward. But that collection of egos that are still there, they will.
The curiosity, though, of course, is that they've got the most legislative experience and they've got the most understanding of what's going on behind the scenes in government next to the NDP. So one might expect them to be maybe the most effective opposition initially. Whether they can do that or not, I guess we'll have to watch.
Well, everything they criticized, anything they could possibly criticize the new government for, they've already done themselves. So that's what makes it kind of hard for them.
And finally, we've got Greg Clark, the new Alberta Party MLA, sitting in the legislature for his first day, and David Swan as well. So we've got 4 potential opposition leaders being able to take shots at the government.
Now begins the great opportunity and task for the Alberta Party. Can the Alberta Party soak up all that centrist support that used to belong to the PCs? Because that's their goal. With the Liberals being much weakened, the PCs obviously weakened, they might actually be able to do something if Greg Clark continues to be as aggressive and effective as he has been.
Well, Rachel Notley and her government will, have the throne speech on Monday and then get into question period on Tuesday. It'll be a fascinating week.
It's going to be a big one.
Thanks, Don.